Hi, and welcome to the Ask Dr. Angela show with everyone's favorite OBGYN, Dr. Angela Jones. Have you ever been just too embarrassed or shy to ask your own doctor a question about your, private stuff? Well, you have come to the right place to get straight answers. Feel free to ask Dr. Angela anything women's health related. OBGYN, she keeps it real. Pregnancy, she knows what you're expecting. Whole body health, just ask. Dr. Angela has you covered, girl. And now here is Dr. Angela.
What's good, people? This is Dr. Angela, everyone's self-proclaimed favorite OBGYN, and I would like to officially welcome you to episode 42 of the Ask Dr. Angela podcast. 'Tis the season of Thanksgiving. I am so excited about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is actually my favorite holiday. We're such foodies in my house. I'm excited about eating, if I'm going to be very frank with you, or how about very Ange with you. I'm excited about the turkey, the dressing, the candied yams, the macaroni and cheese, the cabbage, the collard greens, the ham, the homemade rolls, the cornbread, the beans and rice. Just Thanksgiving, just the food, the fellowship, time spent with family and friends. I love Thanksgiving. I feel like if we're not careful, pretty soon Thanksgiving is not even going to exist. I mean, we're so anxious to get Christmas underway. I think in Ohio, which is where I'm from, the Macy's had Christmas decorations out in October. Can you believe it? And I'm even going to venture to say that we were actually in New York City for Halloween, and we saw Christmas decorations up already. I'm like, really? Wow. Anyway, people, let's not forget the spirit of gratitude and being thankful. And hopefully you all will have a really, really wonderful and blessed Thanksgiving. Okay, so let's jump right into today's question. Today's question is coming to us from Lori. And Lori, although you didn't state on the air where you're from, I know that this question is coming from Florida. So give it to us.
Hi, Dr. Angela. This is Lori Koala. And I had a question about ages that girls get their period. I'm just wondering if it's better health-wise or in the future for girls to get it maybe 11, 12, 10, or if it's better health-wise in the long run if it's later, like 17, 16. Just curious, as a mom of a tween and a soon-to-be tween, just was curious to see which was actually thought of to be better. Thank you, and have a great day.
First off, Lori, thank you so much for submitting this question. This is actually a really good question, specifically for those of us that have daughters. There certainly are some health risks that are associated with early menarche. In English, that means early age at the onset of your first menstrual cycle or period. What I'll start with is saying that the average age of menarche or getting your period in the U.S. is about 12.43 years, so anywhere between like 12 and 13 years of age. And some of the known risks associated with getting a period too early are going to be the obvious ones. Certainly, we're all pretty much aware of the increased risk of breast cancer that's associated with early onset of periods. The other risks that are associated with early menarche are going to be things like ovarian cancer, because of more ovulatory cycles. And there's some literature that may suggest an increased risk of endometrial cancer with early menarche. And endometrial cancer is another name for uterine cancer. In addition to the aforementioned risk, it's also worth mentioning that women that got their periods before the age of 10, but after the age of 17, we're at an increased risk of cardiovascular issues, anything ranging from increased risk of heart disease, increased risk of stroke, and increased risk of hypertension, also known as high blood pressure. Lori, I certainly hope that this has answered your question. Our little girls, they grow up so quickly. I have no idea how I'm going to explain to my daughter anything about panty liners, pads, tampons. She already thinks that panty liners are just blank art canvases that you can stick all over the place and draw one. Imagine that. But Lori, for taking the time to submit your question, someone from my team will be reaching out to you and we'll gather your information and we will send you one of our bomb-ass t-shirts. We certainly appreciate the fact that you submitted your question and we appreciate your continued support. For those of you out there who would love or like to have a question featured on the Ask Dr. Angela podcast, or even if you just have a topic that you would like addressed, please go to www.askdrangela.com. That's AskDrangela.com. Click on the microphone on the right-hand side of the page and do what you do. In closing, I'd like to leave you with this. Christine Feehan said, "Life gives us choices. You either grab one with both hands and just go for it, or you sit on the sidelines. Get in the game, people. That's where all the action is." Until next time, look better, feel better, be better. Looking forward to reconnecting on episode 43.
Thank you for listening to the Ask Dr. Angela podcast. For more information on women's health and the show notes for this episode, please visit Dr. Angela at www.askdrangela.com. While you're there, don't forget to leave your own message for Dr. Angela. See you soon. All of the information provided and discussed in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and should not take the place of consulting a physician. This podcast is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any diseases or illnesses and does not and should not replace treatment for a medical professional. Listening to and participating in this podcast does not create a doctor-patient relationship between you and Dr. Angela Jones. If you need medical advice or assistance, you should consult a physician. Listening to and participating in this podcast is subject to the terms and conditions posted at drangela.com/terms.